Find out what students are doing to fight tuition raises here at Concord.
Coming up next on WMLT News.
Welcome to WMLT News. I'm Brian Arnold.
And I'm Rudy Raines. When the Concord Board of Governors met to vote on a 6% tuition increase, they did not do so without student opposition. Hundreds of students gathered on the lawn outside of the administration building and chanted, "Not a penny more." Arden Hamrick was there covering the event.
Hundreds of students gathered at the student government's tuition rally to voice resistance to the proposed 6% tuition increase.
Every year since 1983, the Board of Governors of this university has raised tuition for some of the poorest students in one of the poorest states in the country. Last year they promised that the tuition increase would be the last one for a while. They were going to try and work on campus, they were going to use that money for us. They said that they would devote themselves to pursuing the lowest increase possible this year.
In an attempt to persuade the Board of Governors, students formed a human corridor for them to walk through on their way to lunch. After lunch, the board resumed discussion on the proposed tuition increase and debated for hours.
Right now it's quiet here at the student rally while students are awaiting the decision of the Board of Governors to raise tuition or not.
The board finally compromised and voted for a 3.7% increase.
I think it's definitely better than what we thought when we came in today with the rally. I think we all were hoping we were going to get a 0 allocation.
I definitely think that it's better than a 6% increase, but I'm really excited. I mean, we settled, we got part of what we wanted, so it's exciting.
Even the villain was happy with the results of the tuition rally.
Well, I recommended 6%. I was the villain yesterday, and I don't like that role, but I was.
Arden Hamrick, WMLT News, Athens.
The 3.7% increase is the lowest among all universities in West Virginia this year.
The tuition rally isn't the only event at Concord that has raised interest around the state. Dr. Jerry Beasley is stepping down as Concord's president after many years of service. Rudy Raines has more on Concord's presidential search.
Change is an inevitable thing, and Concord University and President Jerry Beasley feel that time is now. After 23 years of service, Dr. Beasley has decided to pack up his things and step down from his post as president.
Concord's ready for new leadership. I think that's clear to a lot of people. And I think the other is that I'm ready to do new things.
After Dr. Beasley announced his retirement, the Board of Governors began searching for someone interested in taking up the challenge of filling the presidential shoes.
We looked at all the candidates. We obviously looked at their academic qualifications. We looked at their experiences. When we read their resumes and vitas, we closely perused those to see about the fit for Concord. And then also we relied upon the search consultants.
After whittling the 68 people that applied down to 4, one candidate rose to the top, Dr. Gregory Aloya, Dean of the College of Education at Florida Atlantic University. But with the selection of Dr. Aloya, what was the student reaction, positive or negative? One Concord student had a chance to meet with the future president.
Hiring someone new after 23 years of an old president is going to be some pretty big shoes to fill, but he has excellent experience, and he seems to want to do great things for the college.
But while one chapter at Concord ends and another one begins, Dr. Beasley thinks there is one thing he'll miss the most.
Being paid to go to college for life.
Rudy Raines, WMLT News, Athens.
When we asked students on campus about the new choice for Concord's president, we received mixed reactions.
If the faculty and collectively everyone who's come around and voted, if they think that's right, then I think that they know better.
Pretty much the new president, I don't think the students got a say in it. I think that there should have been a more open forum.
And one of the things Dr. Aloya has is a lot of experience getting money from legislature, so I think he's a good choice.
Our own Sean Miser recently took a trip to the Greenbrier to attend a fundraiser that gave the Concord Foundation a big financial boost.
Saturday, April 5th was a big day for Concord University. The Concord Foundation hosted a fundraiser at the Greenbrier headlined by keynote speaker Governor Joe Manchin.
Be not afraid of going slowly, only be afraid of standing still. And I think that is so true. Well, I can tell you, we're not standing still in West Virginia. We're not standing still in Concord. We're moving forward. Jerry put us on a fast track, and we're going to continue to achieve the success that he has been able to do over the past 23 years.
The event, which included several speakers and dinner, attracted nearly 300 people and raised roughly $94,000. Topics of the presentations included the bright outlook for students graduating from West Virginia universities that want to remain in the state, and the contributions of Dr. Jerry Beasley over his soon-ending 23-year stay as Concord's president.
We just invested $50 million this year for research, and that research is going to spin off entrepreneurial jobs, and it's going to take some skilled labor to do that. So it's going to be a tremendous opportunity.
I was really pleased that Dr. Beasley went out on a positive note. He had been such a strong supporter of scholarships for students, and he is the reason that Concord has the most generous scholarship program in the state of West Virginia.
Governor Manchin's encouraging words to high school students entering into college, as well as college students entering into the West Virginia workforce, and a strong show of support for Concord University point to signs of a bright future for West Virginia students. From the Greenbrier, Sean Miser, WMLT.
The Concord Foundation's next fundraising event is planned for September in Charleston.
As part of the West Virginia Law Project docket, the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals took a trip to the Princeton Courthouse to allow local high school students to observe how the court system works. The 4 justices in attendance heard 4 appeals, including one of a man that was struck in the head and killed while working for RM Logging. In recent years, this project has traveled to hear cases in other West Virginia towns like Beckley and Charleston in an effort to educate the youth of West Virginia about the judicial system.
After a short break, we'll let you know about some Concord athletes that are breaking records. Stay tuned. Concord baseball is enjoying one of its strongest seasons in school history. This Mountain Lion team is riding a hot streak, winning 14 out of their last 15 games, tying a single-season school record with 33 wins. They are currently ranked number 1 in the North Atlantic Regional Poll and number 12 in the nation in Division II baseball. The team is now preparing for the WIVIAC Baseball Championship to be held May 2nd through May 4th in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. But the baseball team is not the only Concord team having a strong season. The Mountain Lion track and field squad has broken several records at the WIVIAC Track and Field Championships. Karachi Mabagwi won the heptathlon for the women, setting new meet records in the 200-meter, 800-meter, and high jump events. On the men's side, Dustin Greenwood won the decathlon, setting new meet records in the high jump and javelin events. His javelin throw also qualified him for the NCAA Nationals in California.
As part of National Poetry Month, Concord's Artist Lecture Series looked just over the border to Virginia Tech to bring in a world-renowned poet. Aaron Barnett has more.
Nationally known poet Nikki Giovanni visited the Campus Beautiful during Concord University's Artist Lecture Series. Giovanni shared her role in the civil rights movement and the importance of historical figures such as Rosa L. Parks by reading through the colorful pages of her newly published children's book, Rosa.
I wanted to share Rosa because she's such a seminal figure, and a lot of people don't really know. I had the pleasure of knowing her, and so it's something that I continue to do because these kids will only touch that history through somebody like me.
And Giovanni's efforts as a poet and activist are focused on one goal.
But what we're trying to do, and back to that, is educate people. It's important that people touch history, and if we all can reach each other, then we have a link going. Otherwise, people think nothing happened until you came along.
Giovanni shares in that link by joining today's generation with stories of the past, with the hopes of inspiring others to acknowledge their potential.
It gives us a chance to appreciate our history as a people, where we've come from, and it also shows people there are very educated African Americans in the nation, because there's still some people who think that we're not educated, that we're only athletes or rap artists, but we're poets, we're authors, and everything too.
As for the future of today's generation, Giovanni remains confident.
I think the kids are all right, and I have no doubt that the country is going to be improved by the continued activism of kids.
For WMLT in Athens, I'm Erin Barnett.
Concord has some well-renowned faculty of its own. Fernando Porras is well known for his work in graphic design for American Express and Procter & Gamble. His work is for more than personal gain, though. Josh Kerboy has more.
Hidden inside the South American rainforest, along the Orinoco River Delta, live the Warao people.
I was going down the river and I saw this group of water lilies coming down river, and I see movement on the water lilies, and I am thinking this is like an anaconda or something, because they curled up like that, and I was getting ready to photograph that, and instead of the animal coming out, well, one little head popped out, but it was not an anaconda, it was one of the Warao boys. And he came swimming just like an anaconda, because that's what they do, they imitate the animals.
Like most native tribes, the Warao are being exploited and removed from the area.
Where we are the ones who come here, and we have done on the rainforest, we've done everything from destroying half of the rainforest, mining it on unprotected ways, to literally killing them. However, we dare to call them savages.
Fernando Porras, a native Venezuelan, exposes through oils and watercolors his stories of this beautiful culture.
We have learned that we are just like them. They are not different from us. However, we treat them like subhuman. If we learn to see them as we are, and that's what I try to do with my work, show them to the world that they are not different from us, that will be enough to learn.
It is his goal to create awareness of the importance of their culture and their fight to keep their customs alive.
I'm working on a show to bring to New York for next year with Noel Galleries in New York. I'm trying to right now plan something for Concord. I'm putting together a lecture on the Warao people and how to use art to relate to them and to bring news of what's happening to our culture here in the United States.
Josh Kerboy, WMLT News, Athens.
This past week, Concord's Greek organizations competed in the annual Greek Week Games and Greek Sing. Some of the games included were flag football, dodgeball, swimming, and a hot dog eating contest. Greek Sing included all 8 national organizations singing and dancing to a pop, country, and a brotherhood, sisterhood song. Winners for Greek Sing for the sororities were the DZs taking first, with AST in second. Winners for the fraternities were STG in first, with the Teeks taking second. Winners for Greek Week for the sororities were DZ winning and SSS in second. Winners on the fraternities were the Teeks winning and PSP in second.
On April 2nd, Concord was entertained by the St. Louis Brass Quintet in the Alexander Fine Arts Building. These 5 talented musicians used a wide variety of music in their performance, including classical, jazz, and music with narrative stories. They kept the audience laughing with their jokes and unique instruments, and proved their love of music and the arts by their presence on stage. The group has been around since 1964 and still continues to amaze audiences all over the world.
That about does it for our last show of the semester, and also Rudy Raines' last show here at Concord. She's moving on to the big leagues, and we all wish her lots of luck.
It's been very fun. It's been a pleasure working with you and everyone else here at WMLT, and I'm definitely going to miss it. But that does it for this semester. We'll see you next year.